This episode of the Oh Hell No podcast has been brought to you by Finola Belle Boutique. With the new year right around the corner, treat yourself to some new looks at online boutique Finola Belle. They have stylish, affordable clothing for ladies of all shapes and sizes. Use the code OHELLNO10 for a 10% discount on your first purchase. Check them out today. That's Finola Belle, FINOLABELLE.com.
Welcome to Oh Hell No with Nicole.
Hey everyone. Welcome to my end of 2018 show. So today it's just going to be me and you. I'm doing my wrap up for the year and just talking a little bit about what I've learned, my accomplishments, some great inspiration and advice that I've gotten from my guests, and just what I have planned for 2019. So I hope that you guys enjoy this episode. So the first thing I want to talk about is my name, right? I know I've mentioned it before. I started off this podcast as Nicole, and I'm going to continue it as Nicole because that is my name, right? There's no, I don't know, fake names going on here. It's definitely on my birth certificate. But I've decided to put my first initial on all of my branding and, to just make it more complete. So everything will say K Nicole, but I will go by Nicole still, so it's still Nicole, but I just don't want you guys to get confused if you see in my show notes, K Nicole, or on the website or anything like that. So I just wanted to put that out there and, clean that up. So I want to start off by talking about my accomplishments. So I feel like I'm a little hard on myself when it comes to taking time to just, acknowledge what I've done. And I think we all do, because I feel like if we don't see major results, we feel like we haven't done anything. And that's not necessarily the case, right? Because you need to make small strides before you'll see any major results or return on your investment, right? So we should all take some time out just to appreciate, pat ourselves on the back, all of the little steps that we took towards our goals. So this year, the Oh Hell No podcast, which has been going on for, I want to say like 2 years now, I finally hit 10,000 downloads. And believe me, it took a long time. Some people start podcasts and they just have the right content. And I don't want to say the right content, but they just have content that appeals to a lot more people quicker. So 10,000 is nothing. Like they did that in a month. Like it's ridiculous, right? And then there are other people like me who my content is a little different. It's not too different because I hear a lot of people doing this whole passion and purpose and stuff like that. Now, it's kind of annoying if I say so myself. But I feel like it's still necessary. And I like to talk to everyday people. I feel like celebrities are great. They're people too, but they are people that have already gotten to that place where they're, a big deal, if you will, for lack of a better phrase. I'm not saying that they don't still have goals and things that they want to accomplish in their lives, but they don't really appeal to me in the way that an everyday Joe or Jill would appeal to me, who is just going about their business quietly, living their dream and doing their thing and being an inspiration, quietly, I love interviewing those people who don't necessarily want to be famous or known. They just want to do what they love and, contribute. So those are the types of people that I really like to interview. I'm not saying I wouldn't interview a celebrity, but I mean, honestly, what don't we already know about most celebrities, right? So it's just that's not what my show's about. So, it is what it is. So, of course, I'm not a celebrity. I don't know anyone famous. So I am organically spreading this podcast the best way I know how. I'm hoping that when my guests come on that they will also, promote the podcast and, let everyone know that they were on this great platform and they talked about, their passions, their purpose, their struggles along the way and moments that, helped shape them into who they are today and, who they continue and hope to grow into, right? But it's not always that easy. Some people come on the show, they don't promote, and a lot of times these people come on the show and it's a request that I get from their publicist. It's not necessarily me seeking them out, and they come on and they still don't promote. So I don't really know what that's about, but it's a part of, life. It's just how it goes. So needless to say, 10,000 downloads for me was a really big deal. Even though I didn't make that big of a deal about it, it was a goal for me this year. And I made it. I finally got to it. So yay me. I just wanted to congratulate myself. Also, I recorded my 100th episode. Anyone out there podcast, it's not easy to get to 100 episodes. I do a podcast every week in terms of releasing a podcast every week. Sometimes I record 2 times a week. I've tried to cut it back to 1 time a week because I work full time. I have, a child, a husband, and then I have other little side things that I am working on. So I'm cutting my schedule back to just one recording a week and releasing 1 episode a week. It's not the easiest thing to do, just getting content and, staying on task and putting it out there. So again, that was an accomplishment, 100 episode. Also, I realized that even though I might not hear it a lot of the times, people are getting useful information from my guests and the podcast on a whole. And that really makes me happy. I met with a friend this past week and we were having a conversation and she shared some information with me, just like, no pretenses, nothing. She just was saying, and it was basically how someone was using the information that they got on one of the podcasts. And it was just like, wow, that is so amazing. I'm so happy that that guest could provide some information or write a book that was helpful to someone listening, where, they could take that information and share it with others. So although my listeners are very shy because they never say anything about the podcast, I feel like some of the information that you're receiving is useful. And if I can hear that once every 6 months or once a year, it's better than not at all. So I feel like that's an accomplishment. On another note, I launched a new business. I launched a lash line and a small makeup brand. It's called Hot Gal Lashes because, again, I have Caribbean roots. My parents are Jamaican. And, hot gal is just a term, that you'll hear in Jamaica. Sometimes girls refer to themselves as a hot gal because, they're hot, they're sexy, they look good. So I wanted to do a lash line and kind of promote it with bringing out the hot gal in every woman, right? Because we don't always feel hot and we can't all be sexy. But every now and again, you put on your lashes, you put on your makeup, and it's like, hey, I look hot. I'm feeling good. So that's kind of how I'm promoting the lash line. And the parent company is Bent Beauty, which is just my last name and beauty. A lot of people do it. Ulta Beauty, Huda Beauty. That's just, it just makes sense. Like it's beauty and your last name or whatever. So that was an easy thing for me to do. BB. And I'm doing lashes, which is, the hot gal lashes, lipsticks, and lids. So anything that you'd put on your eyes. So glitter, eyeshadow, eyeliner, things like that. So I'm starting out very slow in terms of what I'm releasing. I've done some lipsticks, some liquid lipsticks, some lip liners, a few eyeshadows, a liner, some eye makeup remover, glitter, things like that. And I just started it really in June of this year. and it's been very interesting. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of money, and it's a lot of time. And I feel like I don't know what's going to happen with it, but I'm going to stick with it for a while and see what happens. And I'm just going to wait for, God to tell me where to go with that. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we think that we know what we're doing and we have all the answers and we don't. So I'm just going to pray on it, keep putting in the work, and see where it goes. So that is something I'm excited about. And it is an accomplishment because just to start a business and actually make it a reality, it's not the easiest thing in the world. It takes a lot of energy, effort, research, and, just it takes you putting in the work to get it out there and to do it. So that's an accomplishment for me. I also started a new position. As some of you may know, if you read my bio, I am an IT project manager by day. And when I first started this podcast like 2 years ago, I really was feeling like that was not a part of my purpose at all. Like I felt like, okay, maybe I thought it was, but it's not. I'm feeling, like I really don't want to be doing this anymore. It's not, this can't be my life, blah, blah, blah. And then in August of this year, a new opportunity came to me and I took it. And I must say that I'm really excited about it. It's still in IT project management, but it really encompasses everything that a project manager should be doing on a whole from the beginning to the end of a project. I mean, contracts, time, expenses, money, just everything. Everything that you can think of that the project manager should be responsible for, that's what I'm currently doing. So it's challenging and it's also exposing me to a side of project management that I have always wanted to explore. So I'm really excited about the opportunity and also grateful for the opportunity. I feel like everything comes to us for a reason. It's shaping you for something in your future, or maybe just, no, I definitely think it's always shaping you for something. I mean, I don't know. That's just what I think. So I'm excited about it. Like I said, it's challenging. It's not the most easiest thing. So I have to deal with clients, and sometimes it's very difficult. And I have days where I'm really stressed out and just like saying, why me? But, I just push through, and I know that I keep telling myself this is for something bigger. So just hang in there, learn what you can, soak up everything, and keep pushing. So if you are at a job that you hate or you feel like there's no purpose in it, just take a deep breath and think about all of the things that you have to do on a daily basis, and just think about how you can become better at those tasks, where your weaknesses lie, strengthen yourself in those areas, because that position is preparing you for something. And in time, you will move on from that position. But until you learn what you're supposed to be learning from that position, you won't move to that next place in your life. So try not to hate that place too much. Say, I love coming here because I know that whatever I'm doing here is preparing me for something bigger and better, right? And I truly believe that, because every position that I've ever had that I hated, or I wouldn't necessarily say I hated every position, but there were different aspects of the positions that I hated, I ended up using that skill someplace else. And because I hated it so much there, I got good at it. And, I was able to do my job better at the next place. So hang in there. There's a purpose, right? There's a purpose for everything. Believe me. And the last thing is finances. So this year, I've been listening to a lot of financial podcasts and just really trying to focus my energies on, organizing my finances more and getting better in tune with what I'm spending, what I'm making, and how I can get to a better financial place. So I spent a lot of time doing that at the beginning of the year. And I feel like I have a better understanding of what I need to do to get my finances in order. And I have started on that journey. And, I have these conversations with my husband and we work together to kind of, work towards, I don't want to say financial freedom because I don't know. I think that is very subjective. It's like whatever that is to you. But financial freedom to me is just being able to save a certain amount of money, pay your bills, and still be able to enjoy life. So I just want to maintain that and, get rid of unnecessary debt, like just pay off those bills that you really don't need to be carrying over, those kinds of things. So that is something that we have definitely started working on and we have made great strides. So I'm really proud of that. And I just want us to continue in that direction so that we can get to a place where we're like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jamila Sufrant. She is the Journey to Launch podcaster. She has a great financial podcast. And there's also another podcast that I love, and she's really good too. Clever Girl Finance. Yes, Bola. Bola has a wonderful podcast too about finances. So if you're looking to get your finances in order, those are two great financial podcasts, Journey to Launch and Clever Girl Finances. So check them out, follow them on Instagram. They're under those names, so they'll be easy to find. So those are some accomplishments that I feel like, I really needed to acknowledge and kind of take a minute to pat myself on the back about and, just take it in, right? It's okay to pat yourself on the back. So just remember that, guys. So the next thing I want to talk about is my guest. Now, I feel like I have the best guest because every time I have someone on, I feel like I learn something new, no matter how short or how long the interview is. I feel like everyone has something interesting to share, right? So I hope that you guys are finding the interviews useful, and I hope that you're finding the information entertaining and also inspiring, because all of these people have, in some way, shape, or form, found what they love to do in life and has found a way to monetize it so that every day they're getting up and they're doing something that they really enjoy and they're being paid for it. And I think that's everybody's dream, right? So I really enjoy having these people on and I really appreciate them as well. So I just want to talk about a couple of things I've learned from some of my guests, right? They don't necessarily say these things the way that I might read, that I'm going to read them to you, but this is what I've gotten from them and I'll tell you why. So let's start with episode 101, which was KRE the King. He's a Jamaican dance hall artist who is working towards his dream of becoming, international dance hall hit. And I've had him on the show twice. And the last time he came on the show, he taught me that you have to be your own biggest fan. And basically, he said that he felt like he was the best artist out, period, hands down. Even though he's not, on the radio like a lot of these artists, and he's not, doing a lot of what other people are doing yet, he still feels like he is the best at what he does. And I was just really impressed with that. And I felt like it was really cool that he felt that way and that he said that, because I feel like whatever we're doing in life, once we've gotten to a place where we have worked really hard at our craft or whatever it is that we're doing, I think it's okay to, cheer yourself on and say, I'm really good at this and I'm going to make it. It's going to happen for me. Things are gonna, turn out the way I want them to. And I don't think we do that enough, because I find I don't do that enough. I can definitely be honest about that. So I really appreciated him saying that and just putting that out there. And I hope if you guys listened to that episode, that you took what he said to heart as well. Episode 100 was photographer and filmmaker Ryan Eccleston, and I asked him about what is he travels to different, countries, continents, and he, meets different people, he photographs different people, and I said, what is a common thread that you noticed amongst people? And he said that everybody just wants the best for themselves and their families. And that was like really, it stood out in my head. It just made me think, like, wow, yeah, that is so true. Like, no matter where we come from, where we live, where we are, we just want the best for ourselves and our children and our extended families, right? So you want your kids to have a chance, you want them to get a good education, you want them to have a good job, you want them to be safe, you want them to be happy. You want to just be able to do what you love and have a good life. So it doesn't matter. Like, even if we don't speak the same languages, or we don't, we're not the same race or, religion, just know that when you're looking at each other, we all want the same things in some way, shape, or form. So that was a great message. Episode 99, I had Allison Kugel, and she is an entertainment writer. So she actually interviews celebrities, and she interviews like really A-list celebrities. I asked her a lot of different questions, and one thing that she said to me is she told me about a story where she had lost her job, and it really rocked her world, because what was she now without this gig? Like, I'm the cool girl who interviews celebrities, and I get to go to concerts and this and that, and and now I don't have that anymore. Who am I? What am I? Is anybody going to want to be my friend? Like, am I going to be able, all of these thoughts and things. So she had to deal with all of those things. And after she went through that dark time, she realized that she really needed to humble herself and just figure out who she was without all of those things. So this is a very important lesson. And I think that we can all learn from this. And we all need to discover who we are without thinking about what we have, what we do for a living, how much money we make, what fancy clothes we wear, what purses we carry, the cars we drive. Like, who are you apart from all of that stuff? You need to figure that out, because those things are just things. And today they're here and tomorrow they're not. And who are you? Right? So I feel like that was like a really serious message. And I really enjoyed that interview, and I hope that you guys did as well. Episode 97, Carrie Ann Reed Brown. She also has a podcast called Carry On Friends, and she is a Jamaican woman as well. And we had a great conversation about culture and just how you navigate life when your parents are from another country and you grow up in another country outside of where your parents are from, and how you adapt to the culture within the country that you're raised in, but also learn about your culture and kind of embrace your culture, right? Because it's really important. So we had great conversation about that. And what I learned from Carrie Ann is that you should know who you are and don't let anyone ever tell you different or challenge you. Now, she didn't say these words, but this is what I learned from our conversation and our interview. I feel like a lot of times I've been in, situations where people try to challenge me and tell me who I am or what I am because of where I was born or whatever. And I feel like I've gotten upset or even got into debates with them about it. And it was a waste of energy, because you know what? It doesn't matter what somebody tries to tell you. You have to know who you are, what you stand for, and what you are. And as long as you know that, you don't need to waste your energy trying to convince anybody otherwise. So that was a very valuable lesson for me. And I really enjoyed our interview. Episode 91. I interviewed Ashley Gillette, and she shared her story of red flags. I learned from her, pay attention to red flags in all areas of your life. Now, we all know about red flags, right? Her book is about all of these losers that she dated and all the red flags that came up in the relationships and how she ignored them all and continued to date these guys and got played. So she wrote this book just to talk about red flags. And I feel like red flags can apply to every area of our lives or every aspect of our lives, right? It could be with friends, it could be with family, it could be with boyfriends, it could be with jobs, it could be with business, all types of things. So I took that as a lesson. I usually pay attention to my intuition and my gut feeling, but then there are times where I will say, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not so sure about this. Maybe this person really isn't an asshole. Maybe this girl really isn't a low grade hater. But I'm just saying, like, I have my moments where I doubt myself and my intuition. And those are the worst moments because I always end up coming back and saying, man, I should have listened to my intuition. Because, like Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. So you just need to figure out how you're going to deal with that person, what the situation is. Can you continue on and just protect yourself? Do you need to maintain the relationship? Can you cut that relationship off completely? You have to figure out how you have to deal with it, but don't ignore those red flags. So thank you, Ashley. That was a great lesson. Or actually, it was a refresher for me because I already know that. So moving along, episode 92, Stefania Magidson. She was like an interview about spirituality and being spiritually connected and stuff like that. I really love those kind of conversations because I'm like really a deep person. You guys might not know this, but I really love deep conversations. Like that just like really is like the best way for me to spend my time. It's just having conversations where we're getting deep and real and talking about like real stuff that matters, you know? So what I learned from her is be open to new connections because you never know what could come from it. So she met this woman and through this meeting, she, developed a friendship and they ended up writing a book together, which is the book that we talked about on the interview. You know, I can be very guarded sometimes because I've been screwed over by, females especially in so many different ways. I think I have a big heart and I think I'm a great friend. I can be a little rough around the edges. I'm brutally honest, not in a negative way, not like, oh, that dress looks hideous on you, you should take it off. No, more like, I'll just call you on your stuff, and some people don't like that because a lot of people like to live in fallacies, right? They just like to pretend and not really, they want to poo poo around the truth and not really just say what it is. And I don't have any time for that. So that's what I mean when I say I'm brutally honest. Like I'll just like say it, even if I'm feeling that way or if I think you're feeling that way. I just feel like let's just talk about it, and some people just don't want to. So they can find it a little overbearing and, offensive or whatever. So I'm kind of in the sense where meeting new people, getting connections, whatever, I'm always looking with a crooked eye like, I don't know about that. But I have to say, someone invited me out to kind of just like get to know each other a little bit better. And I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised. And I'm very glad that I let my guard down a little bit to go out and, find out why they wanted to meet with me and what they wanted. Because at first I was like, oh, hell no. Like, what is this? Is this a setup? What's going on? Like, why? Why me? Because again, I'm really like paranoid. So, but I took a chance. And like I said, I was pleasantly surprised. So, sometimes if the red flags are not there and it's a safe environment, take a chance. You never know what new connections can bring to you. They can bring new beginnings, new opportunities, and a host of other great things, new friendships, etc. Episode 87, Keisha Taylor, another Keisha. So Keisha Taylor had a story about her life. She wrote a book based on her life, and she had a really rough upbringing. Like her dad passed before she was born. Her mom was kind of in the streets, just really rough. And despite all of that, Keisha made it. Keisha is doing well, and Keisha is living her best life. And this taught me that your past never has to determine your future, and rough beginnings or even rough times don't mean you can't make it out and do great things with your life. So if you had a mother that used to beat you every day, a daddy that wasn't around, maybe you've had like really bad abuse in some way, you're an adult now. Do the work. Do what you need to do to get yourself right and live your best life. No one determines what your life is or will become except for you. So, things happen to us. Everybody has a story, right? But don't let that story dictate the rest of your life. We only spend a short time with our parents, right? A very short time. So just know that you own your destiny. Well, you and God. Don't be a fool because God is in control. But I'm just saying, you don't have to be, if your dad was a deadbeat, you don't have to be a deadbeat dad. You could be the best dad ever, right? Because that's what you want to be. So just know that. And don't walk around blaming your parents because, you didn't get this job or you didn't go to college. There are so many ways that you can educate yourself in this world today. And with technology, it's just getting more and more possible to do amazing things. So stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get the help you need. There's nothing wrong with therapy. We all probably need a little bit of it. And, do the work and get out there and make the best of your life, right? Don't let anybody determine who you are supposed to be in this world because they didn't do what they were supposed to do, right? And that's the message. Episode 86, Richard Marin. I think it's Marin. Sorry, Richard, if I messed up your last name. He was really a great guest, and he wrote a book about, retirement, saving for your retirement and things like that. And what he said, he had something in the book that it was a statement that I just love. And it was, don't always assume you are the smartest person in the room. And we have all worked with somebody who just knows everything. You can't say nothing that they don't know, right? Don't be one of those people. Sometimes, even if you know, just keep your mouth closed and listen to what you're being told and just take it in. You don't have to say, yeah, I know. Just listen, because it might save you, right? So I really, really loved that. I also heard there was something TD Jakes had said a long time ago, and it was like every time you get a new position or you go to another stage in your life, right, where you're the new person, even if you have the experience, act like you're starting from the beginning and just go in there like a blank slate and just take it all in, right? So I just feel like that's a really important message. I try to teach my daughter this because she thinks she knows everything and she's 9, right? And even when she's wrong, she'll try to flip it to make it seem like that's what she meant, the right answer. So I'm really trying to work on her because nobody likes to know it all. And sometimes it's best to just be quiet and listen. Okay. Episode 63, Alex Aldea. He was an attorney and he gave it all up to chase his dream of becoming an actor. And he landed a big part on an A&E show. And what this taught me is it's never too late to follow your dreams. So all of you who are out there who feel like, "Oh, I'm 48. It's too late for me. I shouldn't even try to do this. I can't get a degree now. I never went to college and I'm so old." You are not too old. When I went to get my bachelor's degree, there was a lady who was on like her second master's, and I'm not even kidding you. I think she was like in her late 60s, almost 70. So you are never too old to get your education. You can do it part time, you can do it online, you can do it in person. There's so many ways to do it. You are never too old to learn how to draw if that's what you want to do. My aunt, she draws. She's always done it, but she's just decided she wanted to start really doing like portraits. And she took her time, and you should see how she's evolved from the day that she started just doing it to today, right? Just over a couple months. The transformation is amazing. So you are never too old to put in the time to learn to do something that you want to do. If your passion is baking, get in that kitchen and bake once a week, once a month, whenever you can. If you like to knit, start knitting something. Every time you set aside an hour a day or an hour a week, whatever you can, give to it, just to explore it. Do it because it'll bring you joy. And when you're happy, you smile more, and smiling more, I think, makes you live longer. I don't know. I think so. But, just you're never too old to follow your passions and do what you love. Now, do it responsibly. I'm not saying if you had to have a passion to, be on like American Idol, to quit your job and go try to be on American Idol. No, let's not be crazy. But I'm saying if you like to sing, but you might not be that good at it, go to karaoke once a month and have a good time and rock out, But if you can do something that's like really constructive, that could possibly, you could possibly make some money and, enjoy it. Or even if you can't make money with it, but you really enjoy it, just set some time aside to do it because it's really worth it. It's feeding your soul. So just know that age is nothing but a number. As long as you can get up every day and get out of that bed, it's a new opportunity to do something that you want to do. And the last guest that taught me something for 2018 is episode number 60, Seth Powers. Seth Power, not Powers. I'm sorry. It's just Power. I don't know why I want to call him Powers with an S. It's just Seth Power. I apologize, Seth. He taught me you got to teach people how to treat you. And we all know what that means, right? So, ladies, if you're in a reckless relationship, you got to do better. And the reason you're being treated recklessly is because you're allowing it. And the only way to stop it is to move on. And if it's a dangerous relationship, well, then you need a plan and some help. And just, get the help that you need and come up with a plan and do it carefully, but take care of yourself, right? And the same thing for men, because it's not only men that can be crazy, women can be crazy too. So same thing. Gentlemen, if you're in a reckless relationship, you might want to take some time to reflect and think about what you want out of life. And, just move on. All right. There's plenty of fish in the sea. And same thing for you ladies. Same thing for same-sex couples, whatever. Same thing. Don't let anybody abuse you. Take care of you. If you're in a reckless relationship, 2019, it's time to move on and do better. So that's my advice for you from Seth and from me. All right. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is the top 10 things that I'm great. Oh, no. Well, this is not 10. I'm lying. I just did 5 because I'm already talking too long. So the top 5 things I'm grateful for. So I'm grateful for my health. Last year, I think it was last year, I can't even remember. I went through all this health stuff and I was getting all these tests run and they were telling me all these things were happening in my body. And I'm just thankful to God that I'm okay. And I just pray that my health continues to, stay the same in terms of stable and possibly get better, right? I'd like to lose 10 to 15 pounds, eat better. Those are my goals. So I thank God for my health and, I'm blessed with that. And I just pray that it continues to stay that way. Family and friends, love my family. I have a wonderful husband and he's God sent. So I have to say that, I really appreciate him. He's very helpful. My daughter, she is amazing. Okay. I have my little business. She goes around, she tells everybody about my business. She's so excited to support me and help me. She's just an amazing little girl. So I'm very grateful for her. I thank God all the time for her. I have a few amazing friends and I just, I'm really grateful for them because friendship is really hard. It's a relationship and sometimes it just doesn't work out to be what you thought it was. So when you have friends that, years go by and you're still friends with them and you guys can still have a good time and, love on each other, support each other, whatever, it's amazing and you got to be grateful for it. Honesty. I'm grateful for honesty. My soul craves honesty. Like I love honesty. And I have some really great, honest people in my life. For example, I have this friend. We work together and we both hated the job. And I got a new job and I was leaving. And she said to me, I'm really happy for you. But when I call you or when you call me, don't tell me how much you love your job because I really don't want to hear about it because I'm really jealous. But I'm really happy for you. And I have to laugh because I so appreciate that, right? Because how many people can honestly just say, I'm happy for you, but I'm mad that I'm not, and that I didn't get a job and I'm still here. And I don't want to hear about your damn good, how great everything is at your damn job. I don't care. I'm pissed that I'm still here. And I wish I was leaving. To me, I love that, right? I appreciate it and I love it. Other people might say, "Oh, she's not being very nice. That's so mean, blah blah blah." But it's not. She's being honest. That's how she felt at the moment, and she trusts me enough, and she knows that we're friends. So I'm gonna tell her how I truly feel. I wish more people were like that, right? But they're not. So the ones that I have that are like that, I embrace them, I love them, and I appreciate it so much. So I just had to share that. So people, be more honest. New opportunities. I'm grateful for new opportunities. Like I shared with you guys, there are some new opportunities that came to me this year, and I'm really happy for them and grateful. We'll see where they go. God give me health and strength. Let's see what happens next year and, how things go. Support and guidance. Very grateful for support and guidance. My friends have been very supportive of my business. Although when I started, I didn't really feel the support in the beginning and I was a little salty about it. Like, no, these bitches didn't. They not buying no lashes. What the hell is going on? I even had to get on my sister the other day, like, listen, boo, you didn't buy nothing. And I have 2 sisters. So, I had to loud her up, but she went on and she bought her stuff. So, people, when your friends start a business, it's very hard. It's hard to put yourself out there. It's hard to take on something like this. please support them. Tell your other friends about their business. Buy something and give it away. Just support them. You don't have to like pretend it's your business. I get it. It's not your business. It's like, okay, great. You started a business. Good for you. But I still got bills and I still got things to do. But just be supportive in any way you can, because it's really a lot when you take on something like, oh, I'm going to start a business and, whatever. So just be supportive. Please, 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 please. And guidance. I get my guidance from so many different places. I have to tell you guys about this podcast that I absolutely love. It's called Blessed and Bossed Up. And this woman is amazing. She just has the best messages for people who are starting businesses or just doing whatever it is that you're doing in your life. I really love her podcast, and it really helps me a lot. So I'm grateful for stumbling upon these types of jewels that kind of pull me along on my journey. So I'm grateful for those things. And then I have a couple things that I'm still working on. So I'm still working on meditation. I know all year long, every single guest that I spoke to that had something to say about meditation, I was like, yes, I'm really trying to meditate. I still have not done any meditation. So I think I did it once for like 10 minutes. So I'm still working on trying to get that down. I need to learn how to meditate because I am so noisy in my head, so noisy. So that is definitely a major goal and something that I'm working on. 2, getting more connected with God. I feel like that is a necessity. You need that to quiet the noise, get in tune with God and yourself to figure out what you're supposed to be doing and where you're going. That is something that I need to put some attention to, because I'm always like, oh, I don't have time. It's like the meditation. I don't have time. You got to make time. But I'm on Instagram scrolling through, reading about Cardi B and Offset and all this other stuff, right? I got time for that. Nope. I need to get my priorities in order. Letting go. Letting go is a big thing for me. Sometimes I get in my feelings about certain things and I just don't let it go. I talk to myself about it for days because I'm just like, I can't believe this and blah, 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 blah. I spend too much energy on certain things and I need to learn to let them go. So if you're like me, we need to work on this together, right? We need to work on letting go of just things that don't mean anything, right? It's not going to change the money you're bringing home. It's not going to change your life. If it doesn't impact you in a major way, let it go. So this is what I have to tell myself, because I hold on to things too long and too much. Even my husband, he gets tired of hearing me talk about stuff. He'd be like, okay, we've been talking about this for 20 minutes. Like, can you stop now? Right? And that's annoying because nobody wants to hear that. But yeah, he hits me with that. So I need to learn to let go and let God. So that's basically my 2018 wrap up. It's been a great year. I can't complain. I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot. I still have a lot of growing to do. And I hope that you guys are really enjoying the podcast. And, I'm going to freshen things up next year. So I'm going to come with a new intro. I'm going to do some not really new artwork, cover art for my podcast, what you guys see when you download the podcast. I'm just going to use the picture that I already have on my website. So just connect everything a little bit more. So I'm just going to freshen things up a little bit and, go into the new year with a new attitude. And, hopefully we'll get some great guests on. And if you guys have any ideas or if there's anything that you want to know about, please send me an email. ohhellnopodcast@gmail.com. Go on the website. There's a contact me form. ohhellnopodcast.com. Hit me up on Instagram at the ohhellnopodcast. So I'm everywhere. Please, I would like to hear from you guys. I would even like to hear about some of the things that you guys are grateful for. Some of the things that you guys need to work on. Hit me up. send me an email, drop a link in the on Instagram. Guys, I want to wish you a happy new year. I want to wish you health, happiness, love, and favor in the new year. And I hope you guys tune back in and check me out in 2019. Thanks for listening. I love you guys.